I want to tell you about a woman I worked with. She was a vice president in a large healthcare organization with oversight to many functions. She was as sharp as they come, driven, the kind of woman who got things done and made it look easy. But you know what was happening inside of her? She was running on both fumes and fear. She was trying to outperform the belief that she didn't belong. She was waiting every single day for someone to figure out she wasn't as good as they thought she was. And she was trying to prove that she was day after day. She was conditioned, like many of you. Eventually, all of that shifted. She did the work, she stopped fighting against herself, and in the middle of it all, she was promoted to senior vice president. During one of our last sessions together, she said something I'll never forget. She said, "I feel so great about my career. I never thought I could achieve this, and now I'm on track for C-suite, which has been my dream. And honestly, it was in me all of this time. It just had to be unlocked." That is exactly what this video is about. The core beliefs that are holding you back and the 5 things you can do starting today to break those old chains. Many coaches might tell you that you have a confidence problem or that you're facing imposter syndrome. Many people throw those terms around like it means just believe in yourself more and it will happen. This isn't something that is fixed by a simple vision board or a power pose or even writing 3 things down you're grateful for each morning. I know you've tried some version of that, and I know it probably didn't stick. And that's because that advice was treating the wrong thing. Here's what is actually going on. 2 psychologists, Pauline Clance and Suzanne Imes, studied high-achieving women back in 1978. Women who had the degrees, the results, and the titles. And what they found was wild. These women kept waiting to be found out. They couldn't take credit for anything they built. They kept chalking it up to things like luck or timing or everyone around them, anything but themselves. Fast forward to today. KPMG did a study of 750 female executives, and 75% of them said they'd felt this way at some point in their career. And here's the number that really got me. 81% said they put more pressure on themselves not to fail than their male counterparts do. They didn't put pressure on themselves so that they would win or so they could grow or even lead at a higher level. It was simply not to fail. I'm here to tell you that operating like that burns you out from the inside. This is a broken accounting system, a broken way to operate. That vice president I told you about, by all accounts, she was doing everything right, hitting every number, leading her team really well, getting the results her boss and company were looking for. But none of it was landing with her. Her brain wasn't counting it. Every win went in and came right back out. She never took credit for it directly. Here's the thing, this gets worse as you move up, not better. A study of more than 8,000 employees found that nearly half of women said these feelings of self-doubt got stronger the further they got in their career. More responsibility, more eyes on you, more pressure, and more chances for that voice in your head to say, this is the time they're going to find out that I'm not actually made for this. And that's when your default performance setting kicks in. And it used to work for you, but eventually it will lead you down the path of losing your position, leaving your job, or ultimate collapse. And there is a reason for that, a real one. You have been operating in rooms for most of your career where the unspoken assumption was that leadership looks like someone else, not you. And research backs this up. It's called the think manager, think male phenomenon. Leadership has been wired in most organizations to look like men. So every time you walk into a senior room, some part of your brain is already picking up a signal that says you're out of place. It's not something you're imagining, it's real, and it has been feeding that broken system for years. Here's what that does over time. Your brain learned to explain your success as something outside of you. The team, the timing, the market, lucky break, anything but I made smart decisions and I deserve this. You resort to a performance-based drive as survival in an environment that wasn't built for you. But you're not trying to survive anymore. You're trying to scale. And that old system, it will absolutely cap you if you don't deal with it now. Let me make this practical for a second. This doesn't always look like sitting in a corner crying and doubting yourself. At your level, it's a lot more subtle. And it's a lot more expensive. It looks like over-preparing. You walk into every room with more data than anyone asked you for. You've already answered objections that nobody raised. You've stress-tested scenarios that have almost zero chance of happening. It looks like being thorough, but it's actually a tax. It's a tax on your time, it's a tax on your energy, and it's a tax on your bandwidth. And it's a tax that your male peers are not paying. It looks like deflecting when someone gives you credit. Oh, it was really the team. We got lucky with the timing. So I want you to think about this, and I want you to hear this. When a man gets credit, he usually just says thank you. That gap is not humility. It's your accounting system throwing away a deposit. It looks like moving the goalpost the second you win. You hit the number, and before it even lands, you're already on to the next target. The account resets. Nothing accumulates. And the most dangerous one, the one that affects your money and your growth, is this. You don't make the bold move. You don't go for the bigger client. You don't raise your rates. You don't pitch the bigger stage. Because somewhere underneath everything, you don't fully trust that what you've already done is real proof of what you can do again. That right there is where legacy gets left on the table. And that's what we're unlocking today. All right, here we go. 5 steps. These are not affirmations. They are not feel-good exercises. These are real behavioral shifts that address what's actually broken. Step 1, build a capability evidence vault, not a wins list. You've probably been told to keep a list of your wins, and maybe you've even done it. And it felt good for a day, and then the next hard thing hit and everything evaporated. Here's why it didn't work. A wins list tells you what happened. It doesn't tell your brain who made it happen. And your brain, running that broken system, will just file it under luck or timing and move on. What actually works is an evidence vault, and the difference is 1 column. Every major result you get, you write down in 3 parts. What the situation was, what you specifically did, the decision you made, the judgment call, the risk you took, the move only you would have made, and what happened because of it. That middle column is everything. That's the capability log. That's where you start building proof that cannot be argued with. Do this for 90 days and go back and read it. The pattern of who you are becomes undeniable, even to you. Step 2, change what failure means to you. The research points to one thing as the real engine driving all of this, fear of failure. And I'm not going to tell you to stop being afraid. That's not how humans work. What I am going to tell you is this. Right now, failure means something specific to you. It means you were right to doubt yourself. It means maybe you don't belong. It means the next opportunity might not come. That's the part we have to change. When something doesn't go the way you planned, the question your brain asks matters more than anything else. And right now, your brain is probably asking something like, what does this say about me? And that question will wreck you every time because it turns setback into a verdict on who you are. The question that actually serves you is, what does this tell me about the situation, the approach, or what I was working with? Do you see the difference? That's not a reframe. It's a completely different question under a completely different operating system. One closes you down and one keeps you in motion. Start there. Every time something goes sideways, ask the second question, not the first. Step 3, audit how you talk about your own results. This one is uncomfortable, but do it anyway. For 2 weeks, pay attention to how you explain your results to other people, out loud, in rooms, on calls, in conversations. Because that external deflection habit, it was the team, we got lucky, the timing was right, it does 2 things. It keeps your accounting system empty, and it teaches everyone around you to see your results as circumstantial rather than as proof of your leadership. That second one has real career consequences, documented ones. You don't have to become arrogant. You have to become accurate. There is a real difference between I'm amazing and I made a specific call that worked, and here's the thinking behind it. One is ego, the other is evidence. Learn to give the second answer. Practice it until it feels normal. Because right now, accurate self-attribution probably feels uncomfortable. And that discomfort is exactly the thing keeping you from being fully seen. Step 4, build a personal board, not a cheerleading squad. Research is really clear about this. Women who have even one real ally at work, someone who tells them the truth, report significantly lower self-doubt than women who don't. The gap is huge. But most people build the wrong kind of support. They surround themselves with people who make them feel good. And that's fine, but it doesn't fix the accounting system. Because deep down, you know those people love you no matter what. Their encouragement doesn't count the same way. What moves the needle is 2 or 3 people who will tell you the truth even when it's hard. People who know enough about your world to actually push back on your thinking. People who have no stake in keeping you comfortable. When someone who will absolutely tell you when you're wrong tells you that you're right, it lands differently. It counts, and that goes into the vault. Build that board. Be intentional about it. Use it before big decisions, not after. Step 5, keep a decision legacy log and treat it like the asset it is. This is the most important step for any woman trying to grow her business or her influence, and almost nobody does it. Here's the problem. If your track record only lives in your memory, which is right now filtered through a system that doesn't give you credit, then every big decision feels like you're starting over. You're not drawing on accumulated proof. You're going back to zero. A decision legacy log changes that completely. It's not a diary, it's not a journal, it's a record of the significant decisions you've made, the information you had at the time, the reasoning behind your call, the outcome when it landed. Over time, and this is very important for you to hear, that log becomes documented proof that your judgment works, that your read on situations is accurate, that your instincts have a track record worth trusting. Before a big pitch, before you raise your rates, before you go after the opportunity that scares you a little, you go read that log and you go in with evidence instead of hope. That is how you stop shrinking at the moment that matters most. That log is your proof. Build it like the asset it is. At your level, it absolutely is one. Now let me come back to that vice president that I spoke to about her promotion. She didn't get there because I told her she was great. She got there because she stopped letting her own accounting system throw away the proof of who she already was. It was in her the whole time. She just needed a system that would finally hold it. And I'm going to tell you the same thing I told her. You're not behind as a leader, as an executive, as a woman, and you're not broken, truly. You're not waiting for permission from someone else to take up the space that your results have already earned for you. You just need a system that counts what you've already built. The 5 steps I gave you today, the evidence vault, the failure question, the attribution audit, the real board, and the decision log, these are that system. Start with 1, the evidence vault, today, not tomorrow. Don't wait. Success does not wait. And if you're ready to go deeper, to actually do this work and build the foundation that takes you to that next level, click on the link below and join a cohort of executive women just like you, who are truly doing the deepest level of work, who will undeniably come out of the other side as the unshakable legacy leader of their dreams. Because the C-suite, the bigger business, the legacy you're here to build, it's already in you. It just has to be unlocked.